welcome to another video. This is another 8-bit face-off kerfuffle with a slight difference. Back in 1985 when Commando came out by Capcom, Elite got the license to make the game, but Alligata thought they would be a wee bit sneaky and release their own version before the Commando one, and this is what came out. This is on the C64. This is Who Dares Wins. Now you can probably see a few similarities between this and the Elite game, so understandably you can kind of understand why Elite weren't overly happy with Alligata. So apparently they basically took out a court injunction, whatever you would call it, to stop them releasing said game in its present sort of condition. So Alligata went away and they tweaked the game ever so slightly, as you're about to see, and oddly enough, Elite were happy to let this game get released. So anyway, yeah, this is the original Who Dares Wins on the C64, and this is the redone Who Dares Wins 2. See what they did there? Yeah, let's just go on with it. So yeah, well, firstly what they've done is they've changed the colour. They've made him a red dude, and they've kind of mixed up the levels. They've kind of made them un-Commando-like, slightly. I would still say it looks very, very similar to Commando, but who am I to argue? Thing is, what you have here is one of the best sort of run and gun games on the 8-bit. I mean, I'm a massive fan of Commando by Elite on the C64, and no small part down the music. The game itself, it kind of looks alright, but it's only got, I think, 3 levels, and the graphics are very, very blocky. I would say this game does actually looks better than Commando. And one nice little touch, which I don't know why Elite didn't do in the original Commando, is they allow you to use the fire button. If you press the fire button and hold it down for a couple of seconds, you can launch a grenade. Whereas the Elite one, you had to press the space bar, which was a wee bit annoying because you're trying to play a game like this, it's fast paced, and you're having to take your hand off the joystick. So 9 times out of 10 you would have the C64 on the floor, and you would use your foot to press the space bar. Now this one, you can see there, it introduces a few new little touches. I mean, you've got, rather than just grenades lying willy-nilly about the place, you get little balloons, little drop supplies. Still very, very similar to Commando, I don't care what anybody says. I mean, I really don't know what the difference, you know, yeah, maybe the original one did look slightly more like Commando, but you know, this is still Commando, don't care what anybody says. But no, you know what, it's a fine little game. Now, it does come from you watch the quicksand, you can see there just to the right, between the 2 little blue pools on the right, you can see it kind of blue flashing away. That's quicksand, that's not something you get in Commando. Yeah, this one does have a good pedigree. It's programmed by Steve Evans. Now, he did Guardian on the on the C64, which is an absolute classic version of Defender, and he also did, what was it called, Eagle Empire, which is an absolute cracking conversion of Phoenix. It's a bit slower paced than Commando. I memean, Commando is very, very fast. It's, you know, pure arcade. But I like this one. Is, I would say, there's a bit more strategy. In Commando, you just kind of want to run up the screen as quickly as possible. Whereas this one does ask for a bit more sort of strategy. So anyway, that is the C64 one, and this is the Spectral one. This one plays very fast. It really is. Again, looks excellent. Looks really good. Yeah, it's got obviously reduced colours, but it plays really well. Now, to be fair, the Spectrum version of Commando was a good conversion. Looking at it now, what is the better conversion, C64 or the Spectrum? I would probably say the Spectrum is more authentic. It does look more like the arcade. Though I do have a massive soft spot for the C64 one because it was a game I played a lot. But yeah, this looks great and it plays really well as well. Even the way the deaths, the way they move like that, that's taken straight from Arcade Commando. Now you don't, from what I can gather, get any aeroplanes in Arcade Commando. Certainly not as far as I've got. I've got to about maybe the 4th level, I think. I don't recall seeing any planes. And here we have the little end of level bit where they all rush about. So again, it's it's Commando. I don't care what anybody says. Sound is minimal, but then, you know, what do you expect? A few little spot effects here and there. And this is quite tricky. Yeah, the bullets in this version are a wee bit difficult to distinguish against the background. But yeah, that's the Spectrum one. That's not a bad, very playable little game. So let's move on. Right, this is the BBC. Now, unfortunately, I had to mess about with this. It doesn't come as standard with keys. Not keys, it does come standard with keys, I should say. It doesn't come standard joystick support. So I had to use a little utility called Joy2Key, which allows you to map keys to the joystick. Hence the reason I was able to play it not too bad. Yeah, I mean it's very orange looking. It kind of plays alright. There seems to be a kind of lack of actual enemies on the screen. Now I don't know whether this would be the Electron version as well. I'm not quite sure. I mean, graphics look okay. Colours are a bit limited. Yeah, and it does play very fast. The graphics are quite small, so it's a lot more kind of open than other versions that we've played so far. Hey! Avoid the bombs. Ah, right, okay, that level seems to be a wee bit shorter than the other ones. Fewer enemies as well. So, anyway, not a bad little version. That was the BBC. But this is Atari 800. Now, I see their Timesoft ported some of these games. Right, now the first thing you're thinking, like what I was thinking is, where the hell is my player? Yeah, for some rather daft reason, they've decided to make your player, your soldier, exactly the same colour as the enemy. Now people who go on about the C64 just being brown and beige, well, take a look at this. Apart from brown, there's a bit of green there for the trees as well, and that's about your whack. Now, out of the versions I've played so far, I can't help thinking that this is an opportunity missed. You know, the crazy thing is, Atari 8-bit has probably the best colour palette of any 8-bit machine. So why has it got just a few brown colours? You know, sloppy programming. That unfortunately seemed to be the case with a lot of the more kind of modern Atari games. because Atari came out, you know, back in sort of 79, I think it was. In my opinion, the best software for the Atari came out early doors, early 80s. The games that came out in 1985, 1986, they were generally pretty pish, which was a shame because it was, you know, probably in my opinion the finest 8-bit machine, apart from the synth chip, obviously. But in the right hands, Atari was a powerhouse. This one also seems to be the only version to have in-game music that plays constantly. I'm not sure it really adds anything to it. If anything, I find it probably a wee bit annoying. I mean, you know, take the colours out of it for a second. I mean, it does play pretty well. It does look pretty good if it just had better colours. It could have been one of the best versions, but as it stands, I don't know. I'm not keen on the colour. I certainly don't like the fact that you put to listen to music. There's possibly a key to press to switch it off, but I don't know what it is. It certainly plays okay. Well, I'll not take that away from it. But yeah, that music would get on your nerves pretty damn quick. So yeah, that is the Atari 800 one. Let's crack on. Right, yeah, bet you didn't expect this one. This is the Commodore C16 plus 4 one. That tune finishes with a bomb explosion. Did I instantly die there? I think I did. Right, right. Oddly, you only appear to be able to fire one bullet at any one time, and it sounds more like a cannon than a submachine gun. Oh, come on. Now I've just noticed something. There appears to be... Oh, no way! There appears to be a complete inability to move diagonally. Don't know why, because the baddies can certainly fire diagonally, and that's a wee bit unfair, I think. Right, and I've also noticed something really annoying. You can't get past that bloody tune. And you've got to listen to it not once, but twice. Right, let's try again. Oh, bollocks. Now, it's got China Minor Syndrome. You have to move right away. If you don't move right away, you're dead. And it also plays extremely slow. You can probably tell there. Oh, I'm dead. Bollocks. Yeah, only being able to fire up, down, left and right. It means you've got to move right in their line of fire, which isn't really what you want to do in a game like this. Yeah, that was the C16 plus 4. This is the Amstrad one. Now, this is nice. Yep, I like this one. Nice use of colour, nice and vibrant, and it plays, it's quite snappy actually. Now I think the C64 one had scrolling, whereas this one is, what do you call it, flip screen I think it is. But it doesn't look too dissimilar from the C64 one, which isn't a bad thing at all. I think, if anything, this plays a wee bit quicker than the C64 one. Some nice little sound effects going on as well. The only thing I'm missing in this little bit here is a little the guy in the green jacket with a beard legging it to the bottom of the screen that you get. Is it 2,000 bonus points, I think it is? Now I didn't notice, is this version programmed by Steve Evans himself? It does feel very, very authentic to the C64 one. Come on. Yay! Save him. Ooh, just in the nick of time. Obviously the scale of people to vehicles isn't exactly accurate. Many little railway sets, model railways. I noticed the very, very occasional glitching on the sprites. I don't know why it does that. It kind of flashes a wee bit. Oh, that was close. I think this is the end of the second level. Oh, didn't manage to avoid that. Yeah, really, really nice version. Quite impressed with that one. That is Amstrad. Let's take a look at the very last version, which is the MSX. You see they're programmed by Steve Evans, so I expect high things from this one. It looks like he's kind of hovering up the screen. His legs don't seem to move too much. Yes, similar to the Spectrum. I believe the Spectrum and the MSX share the same processor, so a lot of the MSX ports or ports of games were very, very similar to the Spectrum. Sometimes they're almost identical, which is a shame because I think the MSX is capable of so much more graphically. A well-placed form out. I notice this version's got the little scores that kind of go up the screen, which is a nice little touch. A bit of colour clash going on. Yeah, it's just a shame they couldn't have done a bit more with the colour. I think they could have. It was probably easier just to... I'm saying that, I don't know, did they port... Was it the same team that done the Spectrum? I suppose it would be easier just to port it straight across if it was running the same processor. But anyway, listen, that is the MSX. So let's do a little summary. The first one, what was the first one? Let's just do it in alphabetical order. We've got the Amstrad, I think, is a fantastic version. Really, really nice, colourful, plays fast. If I was going to be really, really picky, there's a wee bit kind of flickery going on there. The Spectrum one, again, it's a Spectrum version. What do you expect from it? It plays well, it's fast, bit of lacky colour, obviously, you know. MSX, again, similar to the Spectrum. I think it could have been better. I think they could have probably done a wee bit more with the colour. BBC one, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's got a limited kind of colour palette, you know, which is probably just down to the hardware. But all in all, not a bad little version. The C16 plus 4 version. Yeah, not a good game. Not a good game at all. Plays very slow. The fact that you can only fire one bullet on the screen at any one time, and the fact that you cannot fire diagonally is a deal breaker. It just makes it way too difficult and ultimately boring. The Atari 800 one, if they'd just done something with the colour, I think it would have been, I would have rated it a lot more. And the last one, which I think is the original version on the Commodore 64, I think that would be my favourite version. It's got the best use of colour, it's silky smooth, it's got nice scrolling, you know. Like I said, I think it was original, it was programmed by Steve Evans. So I'm going to go, I think, I'm going to go for the C64 as being the best version of this to play. But the Amstrad and the Spectrum ones definitely come a close second and third place. But if there was an ultimate 8-bit version of this game, this would probably be it. I'll just leave you with this. And as always, thank you very much for watching.